open 7 days a week. Loose Wheel also offers breakfast on weekends. Stop in and try their full menu today. Loose Wheel Supper Club, conveniently located at 302 West Main Street in Hortonville.
Having loose dentures can really affect the quality of your life. Have you ever thought about how nice it would be to get rid of your dentures and have permanent teeth? Echo Ridge Dental is your complete dental implant provider. Dental implants are the next best thing to real teeth. Every consultation, every procedure is done right here in our office, saving our patients time and thousands when they replace their dentures with implants.
If you want your smile back, if you want your confidence back, schedule a free consultation with me today.
When you're the chef at one of the Fox City's most popular restaurants, you need to be on your feet 10 to 12 hours a day. Larry worked with pain in his knees for years. So when he decided to get his knees replaced, he chose Dr. Jeffrey McLaughlin at the Kennedy Center at Mercy.
Dr. McLaughlin is the only doctor I really would trust to do my knees. I needed the best results, and that's exactly what I got.
The Kennedy Center at Mercy in Oshkosh. Expect great results.
Just because you're in a hospital doesn't mean that you can't.
Hey! The service here is terrible.
Do you always get a sponge bath?
Red Band Society, coming this fall to Fox.
Welcome back, everybody. We are full of ideas on today's show, and oh my gosh, if you could smell that Bananas Foster's French toast. We're finishing that up. We'll show you how it all comes together in just a minute. But right now, talk about ideas. I love when the clothes smell so fresh when they come out of the dryer. What about, instead of buying dryer sheets, making your own homemade lavender balls? Wow. How about some good smelling laundry? We're going to show you how to do it right now.
Hi, welcome to my home. I grow lavender in Door County, and I'm going to show you a few products you can make with fresh lavender. First off, we're going to make some lavender oil, which you can use for many different purposes. If you have dried lavender buds, and they have to be completely dried, and that usually takes 2 weeks, you're going to fill a glass bottle full of buds. And while you're doing this, you're going to notice that pushing them down in there, you're bruising the buds, and the scent is coming out of the buds, which is what you want for your oil. So after you have your jar full, you're going to add oil. I use almond oil, and you're going to cover the buds, and it takes a little bit for it to seep all the way through the buds. You can use extra virgin olive oil, but I have found that the shelf life of the olive oil isn't as long as it is with the almond. And the almond is such a light scent that it doesn't take away from the lavender. Once that's full and looks like this, you put it in a sunny window for 2 to 4 weeks. You shake it once in a while, and when that's all done, you take and you strain it into a nice little bottle like this, and that is in a dark bottle so the sun doesn't break it down, and it lasts a lot longer. Then, once you have this, you can make something even more fun for your dryer. Making dryer yarn balls. They're going to look like this when they're all done. They're felted. You take a little bit of lavender, and I use an old softener sheet, believe it or not, because I'm not going to need these anymore, because I'm going to have my own dryer balls. Dryer balls also keep static electricity away. Your clothes dry faster, 25% faster if you have dryer balls than if you don't. So you take this little package of buds, and you wrap your yarn around it. And this takes a little bit of time, but the yarn does need to be 100% wool. If you don't use wool, you're not going to get all the same qualities, and you will also not have felting. So you continue to wrap the yarn around this until you have a cute little ball like that. Then you're going to put a few drops of your oil onto the ball. And it's going to soak in there. And then, this is kind of a cool thing. You take an old pantyhose, and you put the ball in there. And the ball has to be in there really, really tight. Because if your ball isn't in there really, really tight, this is what happens. Your ball starts to fall apart. And that's not what we want. So you can make as many of these as you want, and you put them in the pantyhose, and you can just keep lining them up in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put them in your washer in the hottest cycle, and then into your dryer in the hottest cycle. And after 3 or 4 times, you'll have these cute little felted yarn balls that will last years.
Coming up, making homemade biscuits can be a little tricky, but we've got a recipe that'll make it easy. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Lamer's Dairy, first place winner in the World Dairy Expo, is the proud dairy sponsor of Living with Amy. Lamer's Dairy is Dairyland's best.
Great news! No payments till this fall with the purchase of any new or used RV. Enjoy a summer full of camping with no payments. And when fall rolls around, Van Boxtel will make your first payment for you. Better hurry! This is a limited time offer.
Festival Foods constantly searches for the freshest produce from just around the corner or from around the world and delivers it days fresher to our customers. Throughout the year, we highlight the best of the best. We call it Peak This Week. When it comes to fresher produce, our customers know the difference.
Our produce doesn't hang around in warehouses. That's why it's called Days Fresher Produce. Because Days Fresher here means Days Fresher here.
About your accident.
We're here to answer all your questions.
Pay your medical bills.
Yes.
Some.
Depends.
None. You want money for pain and suffering.
We'll see.
Maybe.
We'd consider it.
No.
You call a lawyer?
Why?
You call the law offices of UP and Abraham?
We haven't made a final decision.
Yet?
If you've been injured in an accident, call 800-800-5678. UP and Abraham. Right now.
Mills Fleet Farm wants you to take the family camping, the whole family. The field-enforced Beaver Creek tent has plenty of room. It's $50 off. For maintenance, feed horses and cattle Sprout All-Stock Feed. 50 pounds on sale, $9.89. Clean the air in your home with the Filtrete Microallergen Filter, only $9.95. Canning season is here. A dozen half-pint Kerr canning jars on sale, $6.99. At Mills Fleet Farm.
Why Gussman Honda in Appleton? Maybe it's our great selection of Honda certified used cars. Each one gets a 150-point inspection, a Carfax history report, and comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Maybe it's 20 used Honda Accords or a nice selection of Honda Odysseys, both starting at only $54.99. Maybe it's 20 budget cars priced under $10,000. Or maybe it's our easy term financing. Why Gussman Honda? Stop in and find out. Easy to find, just 1 block south of College on Spencer Street in Appleton.
Gotta go to Gussman. Great news! No payments till this fall with the purchase of any new or used RV. Enjoy a summer full of camping with no payments. And when fall rolls around, Van Boxtel will make your first payment for you. Better hurry! This is a limited time offer.
Welcome back, everybody. We're full of ideas on today's show. How about a wonderful recipe for delicious, flaky, homemade biscuits? One of our favorite area chefs, Lindsay Brooks from Runaway Spoon, she's got the secret.
Hey, Amy. I'm going to make flaky biscuits today. This is a question that I get quite a bit in the cooking classes that I teach here, as far as how to make a flaky biscuit, flaky pie crust, all those things. So I thought I would share my little secret recipe on flaky biscuits and just go through the procedure, which is really the key step in making a flaky biscuit. So we're going to start out with just 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to put this in our food processor. And the first trick here is that my flour was in the refrigerator. So I measured it out and kept it cold. You want all your ingredients to stay very cold throughout this process. So I had the flour in the refrigerator. Baking powder and baking soda and a pinch of salt also went in the refrigerator to stay nice and cold. And then we've got some butter that we're just going to kind of slice and set into here. Move it around and make sure it's covered in the flour in your mixer here. And then we're just going to pulse this together here. You want to do it a few times, not a whole lot. If you overmix it, you're going to have a very stiff, firm biscuit. What you're looking for is to break up those butter pieces to the size of peas or so. So nothing too fine, not cornmeal consistency. Just give it a couple pulses. And you can see that you've got some chunks of butter in here. It looks kind of very rough looking. You can see even some chunks of that size. That's completely okay. You want nice big chunks of butter to go into this recipe. Go back to that bowl that had the flour in it, which is also a chilled bowl because it was in the refrigerator. And then we're going to go ahead and add buttermilk to it. Again, another little secret to having a flakier biscuit is going to be the buttermilk. The enzymes in the buttermilk help react with the leavening agents and give you a fluffier product. So we've got 1 egg in here and about 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. We're going to mix together. Just going to give that a little bit of a mix. So essentially you have your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients here. Take my flour and kind of spread it out a little bit. Go ahead and add the wet to the bowl. And now the next trick, of course, is not to overmix it. So we're just going to fold all these ingredients together. We're not going to beat it. We're not going to make it like a muffin batter that you've got a big spoon and you're mixing it together. You're just kind of folding it together. And I usually make drop biscuits, but you can stamp these out. You could roll the dough out a little bit and then cut out circles with them. But just as you get it mixed together, you can see that there's still butter chunks. There's still a little bit of flour on the corner of my bowl. That's exactly what you're looking for, is to kind of stop right at that stage. You're going to go over to a parchment-lined cookie sheet. Again, you want it to be parchment-lined so you don't have to worry about anything sticking at all. And I've got a little scooper. Again, I like to drop my biscuits, but you could stamp them out or just take a tablespoon or 2 and go that way. We're going to go ahead and use a scooper. And I'm not going in there and pressing it against the side of the bowl. I'm just going in there and leveling up a scoop. You want to keep them really light and fluffy. You don't want to compact the dough that you have here. Another tip to flakier biscuits is going to be a high oven temp. So you want it at 425, even 450 if you feel that your oven's a little weak. And they only take about 12 to 15 minutes at this size. So you want to make sure you have your oven preheated. You want all your ingredients to be cold. And you want to work relatively quick with your batter as well so that things don't warm up. Make sure not to compact your dough here by kind of leaving nice soft scoops. And then to make them look pretty, you want to brush the tops with egg wash. So what egg wash is 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water. You mix it together with a little bit of a whisk or a fork, And then you want to brush the tops with these. Sometimes, depending on what the application is, I'll sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese on top of them before I bake them, or a little salt and pepper. Otherwise, a very traditional southern flaky biscuit. It's just going to have this egg wash on top. Pop them into that hot oven. You'll know they're done when they're nice and golden brown. They're going to at least double in size for you as well. So they get quite large, and that's the leavening agent working. And when they come out, they're going to look just like this. So you can see they've doubled in size. They've got a really golden top to them. And then when you actually pick them up and break them apart, you can see exactly how flaky and how crumbly they are. Again, don't overmix it. Cold ingredients, hot oven, and you should have yourself some flaky biscuits. Enjoy, Amy.